Hey you guys, how's it going? It's Baggins here, and today we have a super exciting video to talk about. Amazon just dropped a ton of content on us, like a brand new roadmap. Well, it's the same roadmap, but like in depth now. They talked about the new seasonal changes coming to the game that's going to introduce battle passes, new dungeons, mounts, a new expansion, territories being changed, weapon balance changes, like so much stuff to talk about. I'm going to try my best to condense this video into about 10 to 15 minutes, so good luck to Editor Jack for that one there. But if you guys do want a more in-depth breakdown of everything, I'll link to all the stuff that we're talking about, including the roadmap, including the developer update video, including the posts that they made on the website in the description down below. You can check out all those links. But speaking of links in the description down below, first a quick word from our sponsor, StreamLabs. StreamLabs Ultra is an incredibly powerful suite of tools which I've been using to help streamline my content and just get more stuff out there for people. For example, we have the cross clip tool that you can use. You can take clips of your stream and put them into a vertical format very quickly, very easily, and then repurpose them for like TikToks and YouTube shorts. I've been doing this a lot with the New World content lately. Taking those big long streams and condensing down, getting the awesome hype moments has been huge game changer for my content. They also have this massive gallery of nice little animated graphics, reminding viewers to like and subscribe the video, follow on Twitch, and all that good stuff as well. StreamLabs Ultra really is a great package, and if you're looking for some value with this as well, make sure you check out my link in the description down below. You can get 50% off with your first month of StreamLabs Ultra. Thank you very much to StreamLabs for sponsoring this video. So I think the most exciting thing we can jump into and talk about with the video immediately is the new roadmap here. I say the new roadmap, it's the old roadmap, but they've added just like a lot more stuff to it. So we get a breakdown of spring, summer, fall, and winter. We can see some very big exciting things coming in here. In the fall, we're going to be getting a new expedition, mounts, a new weapon, a new heart rune, a gear score increase, so maybe going to 650 gear score. Whether that's going to be through Umbral Shards or something else, we don't know. There's going to be main storyline updates, adding in this seasonal trial system coming in the summer. As recently as the spring, so just around the corner, we've got the gear set storage system. We've got another new expedition, the new heart rune, the seasonal pass. So yeah, there's a lot of cool stuff in here. I think, you know, we could individually talk about each one, but again, with the idea of like keeping this video short and sweet, let's jump straight in with the seasons that they talked about and explain what's going on there. So seasons in New World are all going to be themed to a particular aspect, and they're also going to feature a battle pass going along with them and a bunch of relevant challenges, again, kind of related to the content. So season 1 is going to be Fellowship and Fire, and there does seem to be a bit of an emphasis on the fire. There's going to be a new heart rune with a fire themed like effect to it. I think it's called Firestorm. We'll get to see it further down in the description here. But the season pass is effectively a battle pass. You know, you guys have seen this in so many other games before. There's going to be a free version and a premium version. There's going to be 100 tracks related to this as well. The premium version costs 20,000 marks of fortune, which I think is about $20. The first question that immediately jumped to my mind is this going to be pay to win? Is this the first time that we see pay to win introduced into New World? Now, the answer to this from the devs was no, but I feel like they're not going to say like, yeah, it's pay to win, guys. We can take a look at some of the rewards here. There does appear to be a few pieces of loot that you can get on both the free and premium version. So how good the perks are going to be, they have said that there's no specific like items that are available outside of a, you know, like a legal perk combination. So there's nothing that you can't get from here that you couldn't craft or otherwise obtain in the game. However, there is going to be boost tokens. This means like proficiency boosters, so you can level up your weapon mastery faster, you can gather stuff at a faster rate, things like that. So there is some argument that it is potentially a little bit pay to win there. At a certain point during the developer update video, Dave talked about the concept that there will be regular chests and then there will be inferno chests. And the Inferno chest and regular chest both contain items that you can open up and get. But the Inferno chests have slightly better rolls, so slightly better odds of getting a decent item from the Inferno chest. So again, it does seem like premium is gonna get you better stuff, but how good or how, you know, important that is overall, we'll see. Maybe this is the first step towards New World being slightly pay to win. I don't know though. I'm gonna hold out hope that we, you know, this is one of the strong bastions of New World. Is it's not a pay to win game. There's basically nothing you can buy in game that can give you an advantage, but it is gonna be harder to evaluate whether that'll be true or not. We'll have to wait and see what the battle pass is gonna look like. And you're gonna level it up with the ways that you would typically expect. So you can see here 1,750 XP for completing any expedition. completing 3 faction missions, complete 5 songs on any difficulty, and that is going to level up your battle pass there. If we scroll further down, we get more of an idea of what like a season will look like. So in this one, they're going to be adding the new dungeon called the Empyrean Forge, again with an emphasis on fire. There's also going to be the Firestorm Heart Rune, which comes out of this as well. One big feature that's coming in with this season is the gear set storage system, and I am so looking forward to this. I really can't, you know, it's so frustrating. Like if we give it a quick example here in game, like I currently right now have all of my Genesis gear on here, so everything is with Angry Earth Ward and it's got my fire gems. But then, you know, even something as simple as like wanting to switch over to my stone cutting gear here to just, you know, craft some runestone or whatever, I have to drag each piece one by one, or you know, we can double click as well. But if we can do this with the click of a button, if we can put all pieces of gear on at the same time, I'm really looking forward to it. And it also gives us a better system to be able to search for particular items. Like if I need to go search for my Corrupted Ward gear that I left, you know, or my like some Corrupted Ward tanking gear, I put all of my tanking gear in Mountain Rise, but which stuff has Corrupted Ward? If it's gonna allow us to do that and just click a button, I can take it all out. This is gonna be awesome. Really looking forward to that feature. One thing to quickly note here is it says additional slots can be earned through the season pass or purchased with Marks of Fortune. So it does look like you will be able to almost buy quality of life here, which I'm not a super big fan of. Hopefully there'll be a free way to get these as well, because yeah, like I don't know, creating a system which, you know, we have a problem evidently with the gear and then selling the solution rather than just putting it in the game doesn't feel great to me. But again, maybe I am just being a little bit too negative. We'll give Amazon the benefit of the doubt on this one. A season is going to last approximately about 3 months, and with it, you know, we can expect like a roughly about the same amount of content with each season as well, if not more. They did say that they want to deliver more and more with each season. On top of this, there's also going to be like events that will roll throughout as well, so it's not like we're just waiting 3 months and then no content and 3 months and no content. There is going to be events happening throughout the seasons as well, which makes me glad as a content creator, because God, it feels like we've been waiting for something new to happen in New World for so long. You know, the YouTube video activity has been very dry because there's just not really been anything to cover content on. But further on down in this guide, they explain whether it's pay to win or not. So they do say that the gear from these rewards will not exceed 600 gear score, does not include any unique perks that cannot be found in the game. However, it doesn't mean that they objectively won't be like really good items. So we'll have to wait and see really when it comes to the Battle Pass in terms of like how much value for money it is. And of course, if you guys would like to see that video of my breakdown of the Battle Pass when it does arrive into the game, make sure you go ahead and click the subscribe button. You can get notified when new videos come out. Now in the developer update video, the next thing the devs go on to talk about is PvP updates. So for those of you who are interested in PvP, they've got a few things that they throw as. Nothing was like particularly too substantial, but you know, some stuff gonna be pretty exciting. I actually made myself a bunch of notes here because it's, you know, there was a lot to go over. So they talked about the red circles are now gonna represent like whether there's a fortifying sacred ground of like the enemy team on the other side, or if there's gonna be like a fireball. You'll actually be able to see the difference between them now. Enemy abilities are gonna be labeled red specifically. They mentioned cross-server outpost rush. Again, we already know this is happening, but they wanted to further emphasize like cross-server outpost rush. It's definitely happening. They're also going to be making some changes and improvements to the fort in outpost rush, trying to like beef up the siege weapons and also make it so that the doors on the fort are like more resistant to thrust damage, so pretty specific there. Adding some anti-snipe barriers to the Baroness ghost boss, so people can't just snipe it with a musket from like 3 miles away. One thing that I was pretty excited to hear is they are going to be improving the PvP rewards track, because right now it's pretty stinky. A lot of the stuff you get offered on the PvP rewards track is a bad item, but they have said specifically every 5th milestone that you will get a really, really good item. So that's going to be exciting to see what that means. There's also going to be a new arena map arriving as well. There wasn't a specific date on this one, but a new arena map will be coming in. What they're going to do is turn off the old map to turn on this new map, and then probably cycle between the two of them. And they're also going to be making a big change to how you push an area into conflict. So for those of you interested in war, you will now have to push an area into conflict at a specific time of day or even a specific time of week. For me, this is a pretty cool concept, because now everybody is going to congregate like, hey, this is the time to push Everfall. So you're going to get all of the companies that want to declare an Everfall filing in at the same time. It should create a bit more of a Great Cleave, or hopefully it'll create more of a Great Cleave sort of PvP environment. They're going to be adding in towers as well as the fort, which controlling the towers, they didn't specify what sort of buff, but it would have some influence on the territory push as well. So yeah, hopefully we're going to see a bit more open world PvP as a result of this change. The next section in the video that they talked about was balance changes, and there's some pretty cool stuff coming in here as well, but it was a little bit vague, so we'll probably have to jump onto the PTR to check out the specifics. Once again, if you guys want to see a video on the PTR, if you subscribe, you will be able to see like an upcoming video that we're going to do. The PTR is arriving tomorrow when this video goes out. So if you want to see that, as I mentioned, go ahead and click subscribe. You'll get notified when the video comes out. One thing that I thought was interesting is they said that there's going to be big, meaty combat changes coming every season. So every season, we're potentially going to be looking at a new meta of some form. You know, if they do some substantial changes to the way like how melee and ranged weapons perform, making some better and some weaker. So every 3 months, potentially looking to see like melee weapons be the king and then mage weapons be the king, or maybe like we'll just find some semblance of balance where everything is equally as good. That would be nice. When it comes to the musket, they unveiled kind of how they're going to be nerfing it. So they're going to be adding this sort of inaccuracy system where when you're aiming with the musket, it's sort of going to waver around a little bit until you hold down. Like if you hold for long enough with the aim down sights, then it will lock on. So you won't be able to just immediately aim down sights and then shoot. You will have to wait for a little bit to like sort of steady yourself. They also did confirm that shirking, fortification, and resilience are going to be getting nerfed with light armor. So the way that the incoming damage algorithm is calculated, if you have light armor on, shirking, fortification, or resilient will just be like less powerful effectively. So I don't think they're specifically nerfing the perk, but it's just like how the damage calculation is done when you're in a light equip load. Greatsword is getting a nerf in form of its weapon tracking and its homing. So if you do the greatsword right now and you swing at somebody, it's like they're filled with magnets because it just pulls you all the way into them from like 3 miles across the map. So they're going to be reducing some of that tracking. Probably going to be similar to the what we saw with the great axe a long time ago. Great axe used to have really, really good tracking, and now it's just like pretty good. So hopefully going to be a similar treatment with the greatsword, where it still sees some use, but it's just toned down a bit. Defy Death, they said they're going to be specifically nerfing Defy Death on the hatchet. They didn't really specify how, but my guess is it's going to be changing the actual bit where you just can't die and instead giving you a huge damage reduction instead. So maybe like a 90% damage reduction for 2 to 3 seconds instead of like literal immortality for 2 to 3 seconds. A big Fire Staff rework is coming as well. Again, there was no specifics on this, but they just said there's going to be a huge like rework specifically to the Fire Staff. So Fire Staff going to be maybe pretty OP for a bit. We'll have to check it out on the PTR. And then for crafters, we got some exciting changes here as well. So cooking and arcana are going to be more fun to level up if you haven't leveled those up yet. Effectively, what you do is just spam potions and meals over and over again until you're max level. So they're going to be adding a bit more variety to it. We're also going to be able to use golden scarabs and runestone stopwatches when you're crafting bags and tools, which is super hype. Looking forward to that, getting some more customization on what I have on my bags and my tools. And one of the changes that's pretty nice as well is they're going to be making it so that when you go into a crafting station to make an item, it actually remembers what you want. So if I go and make a like ice gauntlet right now, I have to select runic leather. I don't have to select this, luckily, but then when I go back in again and I try and craft it again, I have to reselect runic leather every time, and it's kind of annoying. So the fact that they're aware that these like small little annoyances are here and they're fixing them, I don't know, it kind of makes me glad. The last thing the devs touched on in the video here is the roadmap, and they give us a little bit more context for what some of these things mean here. So the season trial, for example, is going to be our first look at a raid in New World, where it will be 2 groups of 5, that rather than just 5-man content, it's going to be 2 groups of 5, and it's going to feature waves of enemies followed by a boss fight. They're then going to be taking this feature, the season trial, and adding mutators to it later on, and they're also going to be adding a season trinket as well, which they describe as like an item that you power up through each season to make you stronger. I'm kind of thinking a bit like the thing that was in Battle for Azeroth. It was like the heart thing. God, I can't remember what the heck it was called. The core that you had and you put essences in it or whatever. I'll remember, maybe I'll send a message to Jack. But you get, some people might know what I'm talking about, but it was the Heart of Azeroth. That was it, the Heart of Azeroth. I'm imagining it's probably going to be something like that from World of Warcraft, but added into New World, which I don't know. Is that going to be a good thing or not? We'll have to wait and see. But that won't be arriving until the winter of this year, so we're going to have to wait a while to see that one. One thing that's pretty hyped to see is they do specifically call this an expansion over here in the fall. So Brimstone Sands, some people debated whether it's an expansion or not, but they have said it is an expansion, and it's going to have mounts. It's going to have a new expedition. There's going to be a new weapon, a new heart rune, a gear scar increase. They're going to be transforming one of the zones. My guess is that it's probably going to be First Light, because I think First Light's just like kind of a nothing zone right now. Nothing really happens there. They talked about doing a main storyline revamp for Brightwood and Weaver's Fen, so First Light just kind of seemed like it's just getting excluded right now, and my thoughts is because it's going to be hitting that's going to be the transform zone. There'll be new enemies there, new biomes, just a bunch of cool new stuff as well. So really looking forward to that. One thing that is surprising with the roadmap is there's only one new weapon on here. So there's no new weapon in spring, no new weapon in summer, only one new weapon in the expansion, and that's it. So I throw the question to you guys. Do you think one new weapon in New World a year is enough? Would you like to see 2 or 3? Amazon have kind of described adding a new weapon as like adding a new class to an MMO. So when you put it in that perspective, I guess it does make sense that only like one new class a year. But still, I was hoping for like 2 myself, but maybe they do say down here the roadmap may change and does not include all planned content, so we might see a little bit more than that. There is going to be a new heart rune every single season though, so that's kind of cool. The only other thing to talk about quickly is the PTR, so this is the very near future. In fact, well, this is tomorrow at time of recording, but it's coming out February 23rd at 10 a.m. PDT, which is 5 p.m. UTC. For those of you in Europe, it's going to be 6 p.m. There's going to be some pretty juicy changes on here. We're going to get to see the increase of Bane on magical ranged weapons, so 10% extra damage from having like Corrupted Bane or Ancient Bane on your bow or on your Ice Gauntlet, so that's going to be 25% extra damage that you can do in total, combined with the removal of the damage reduction or the removal of like the fire resistance and ice resistance. I think like bringing a Fire Staff, Ice Gauntlet into Mutated Expeditions is definitely going to be viable. Another thing they snuck in here as well and didn't really mention in the developer update video is the idea that you can use Taunt Gem on different abilities, or different weapons rather. So maybe being able to use a Taunt Gem and a Void Gauntlet and being like a Void Gauntlet tank can like really be a reality. That's going to be pretty awesome. I'm looking forward to trying to do some Life Staff Void Gauntlet tanking, like properly actually tanking with a Carnelian Gem in the Void Gauntlet and taunting through like Putrefying Scream or something. That should be cool. One of the quick things that I wanted to point to in the PTR is that adding this new system where players with more than one character on a single server will now have to declare only one of them as a PvP active character. So only the current active PvP character may flag for PvP or fight in a war. There is a 3-day cooldown on switching active PvP characters. This will restrict players from further using alts to game the faction war systems. I think this is probably fair enough. I don't know. I don't really partake in this sort of system myself. In general, I just haven't really been involved in wars in a while. So throw the question to you guys as to whether that's a good change or not. And then everything else that we've seen in here is we talked about at some point during the video, I think during the seasonal changes. So yeah, all in all, massive, huge changes coming to New World. I'm so glad that they finally like have shared some stuff with us, because it feels like we've been waiting months and months and months and just like nothing has been happening, and then boom, everything at the same time. I would rather that they kind of pace this out a little bit, but hey, I'll take something over nothing. So yeah, that's pretty much the end of the video. We could talk more on detail about other things, but battle passes, mounts, new expeditions, new heart rune, new zone, big weapon balance changes coming in. I'm excited. I'm excited, friends. If you do want to catch any of this stuff live, if you want to see me playing on the PTL live and we can go through all the changes together, put a link to the stream in the description down below. Obviously, we are going to be live for that on February 23rd, 5 p.m. UTC. But as always, guys, if you enjoyed this video, make sure you go ahead and click the like button, subscribe for more, and I'll see you guys all in the next video.